Hey, Shalom, first and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor goes to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles at Great Millstones. Taught us this true citation. Oh, yeah, I can push this word day in and day out on this quick lesson on this guy, J.R. Smith. He played in the league for a while, you know, in the early mid 2000s to about the late 2010s. You know, he played in NBA. It says J.R. Smith confronted NBA superstars who use personal wealth to help the community. And it's an old video from 4 years ago, but the fact still remains that, you know, these guys are controlled, man, you know. Because every last guy on this video clip right here played in the league. That's Antoine Walker on the left. Actually, you know, pretty much met him, you know, when I used to do security. He's a big guy, one of the biggest guys I ever seen in my life in person, if not the biggest. He about 6'10", 400 pounds. So there's J.R. Smith in the middle. It's Brandon Marshall, played for NFL. The third guy, and I think the last guy is DJ Williams, if I stand correct, NFL guy too. So I think them guys, two guys on the right, used to be teammates in Denver. So, yeah, man, this guy, man, I'm gonna play it, man.
We stopped
That's
playing.
right. We stopped playing. We gonna ask the owners for. We gonna ask the owners for.
Stop asking them for.
Stop asking them for.
I'm gonna pause it because he said, "Well, you gotta ask the owners for it." Well, the owners really got these niggas on a leash because they pay them so much money. You know, and I'm pretty sure all the time they threaten to take it away from them because, you know, even though they live in a so-called lavish lifestyle, right? And, you know, Esau's thing is, you know, you owe me. I'm giving you millions of dollars to play a kid's game. You owe me. So they got to ask the owners for permission to do pretty much anything, man.
We asking
What
them
we asking them for?
I went down the line.
No book.
You can
You can ask these dudes if not. I got Paul George sitting right here. I got DeMar DeRozan sitting right here. I got Russell Westbrook sitting right here. I'm literally sitting next to all of these dudes who are LA guys.
I'm like, bro, I'm not counting your chips, but everybody else.
So you make 200, you make 175, you make 150, you make 180.
Why don't y'all
have your own gym? Why we gotta go to UCLA to work out in LA every time?
Yeah, because it makes UCLA look good. You know, the owners or, you know, their agents, their fucking handlers, you know, they tied into even that on a lower degree UCLA because UCLA pretty much feeds off of the Los Angeles basketball circuit because Los Angeles, I believe, is a basketball town, just like New York. And, you know, I mean, football is big there, but it's mainly for basketball. So that makes the school look good when you got all these local NBA legends play a pickup game there. You know, it brings money to the school, brings you know, up and coming athletes to the school and so forth, man. So all this shit is tied in. Proof of that is you look at the floor. You know, the floor of the segment has Masonic checkerboards, man.
You got your own.
Y'all all come from the exact same community. You want to inspire kids that look like you.
All it takes is five.
All it takes is 5 of them. Five.
But, you know, the curses, the contracts, you know, so forth, man. You know, and you see this guy, he knows, man. Trust me, he knows. He's been around for a while. You know, he knows, you know, that, you know, Jake is on a leash, man. Because, you know, majority of these NBA, NFL niggas, 2/3 niggas. You know, he's even doing like a Masonic hand sign, like, you know, hey, I ain't with it, man. You know. So, Salaki, I'm getting alerts and shit. Every time I do a video, I'll get alerts. Yeah, so they got the Masonic checkerboard, you know. Even though, it's not black and white, but, they change the colors because people are too caught on, man. So they trying to give it like a vintage look with the Masonic checkerboard on the floor, man. All right. And all these guys are big guys, man, He's a big guy, so they should be, the warrior class of our people to take Esau down. But the Lord ain't chose, the mighty men, man. All right. The mighty men of Babylon. Even though, one thing I will say is this guy, J.R. Smith, I seen, an ex-NBA player. He got in trouble, probably because he posted on social media some things about the truth. He's just, kind of like one of the bug out Israelites. His name was Allen Anderson. He played in the NBA too. He's like my exact age. He played back in the 2000s. And he posted something about being an Israelite, and I saw J.R. Smith like the post, man. So J.R. Smith, he knows, the Israelites, man, who we are and so forth. But, he just gone off that weed and shit, and cigars. And that's why nobody will take him seriously, He could say things like this, but don't take him seriously because he don't take himself seriously. He didn't even take his NBA career seriously. You look at the shots he would take, and then he would even make some of them. You'd be like, man, how the fuck? This guy didn't even take himself seriously. So, he can say controversial things and do controversial things like this, right? But yeah, these guys are making $500 million contracts. Whether the sacrifice through blood or through sodomy, LGBTism, right? Child sacrifice, whatever, right? Because that's what happens when they do open up a center that do child sacrifice. Like LeBron James, he opened up a school somewhere. I don't remember where it was, Africa or here. And somebody got killed there, man. Dead body pop up. All right. So he's right, though, in a sense, though. Why don't they open up their own little fucking facility where they could train in the off season and then train future athletes? Because this devil won't allow it, man. Because everything, let's say these players do, because I'm sure this happened, at least a few times where, players did try to, open up a center, right? Uplifting the youth center. And Salaki, I'm ranting long while to get to the precepts. But, there's like zoning permits and shit that, they made it to the finish line. They got the funding in order. They got the location, this X, Y, and Z. But the zoning permit system that's ran by Esau, the devil the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man. So-called white man, white woman, and child. They deny it, They're like, man, fuck you. You ain't doing that. Because really they want our people to be, lost in the sauce, so to speak, out in the streets. Because I remember I grew up in the era in the 90s. I remember there used to be like midnight basketball to stop the violence. Late night basketball. Instead of being on the streets, play basketball at your local rec center, community center. I remember that era. I was a little before my time, but I was like the generation before me, Gen X. They had like programs back then to keep the youth off the streets. Now they ain't got none of that shit. Of course, you got AAU teams, AAU circuits, but you got to be like on a certain level to make that team. And not every Jake is on that level, So, shit is real in the field. So let me get this first precept. This is Exodus 23 and 32. So this is in the law, man. The law of Moses, right? Thou shalt make. I'm going to read 31. This is going into the Exodus of ancient Egypt. And now set thy bounds from the Red Sea even to the Sea of the Philistines, and from the desert into the river. For I'll deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand. Thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. And that's what these NBA players are doing. They're making covenants, man. They signing agreements, man. They don't know. They don't know the fine print. You know, I mean, NBA contract could be like fucking 100, 500 pages. You know, who knows, right? So they're not reading word for word, and then their lawyer isn't reading it word for word. He's just saying, you know, he wants to get paid, or the agent. They're like, man, I want to get paid, man. I'm just going to give him a brief overview. You know, you're making a deal with Satan, especially at that high level. Where this devil's paying you millions of dollars, man. You know, hey, man. The scripture says we're bought with a price on the right hand, but this devil thinks he's God, so thinks he's the most high. So he's buying these niggas with a price on the left hand, man. Modern day slave option, man. You know, you always had the big buck, you know, that was agile, athletic, strong. And, you know, he'll fucking, you know, go for 10 times the amount of the regular slave, man. It's nothing new under the sun. It's the same thing with these NFL, NBA, MLB, boxing, you know, wrestling, whatever entertainment you could think of, whatever bread and circus you can think of, man. You know. So first and foremost, being Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Israelite foreigners on their father's lineage. You know, because it's a patriarchy thing. You know, we don't make no covenants, but now you even got women making covenants, man, selling their soul, man, like Angel Reese, you know, WNBA. You know, she done laid down with these devils on the casting couch for her to get that type of publicity. I never seen a publicized WNBA player like her. Showing you what, she even sold out on a low level. I think she was on the cover of the WNBA version of NBA 2K or some shit about a year ago. So, you know, she did some strange things for that change, you know. And same thing with these NBA niggas, too, because they do all these different basketball camps, man. You know, who knows what type of PDF activity happens, you know, on the basketball camp. You know, the parents away. You know, be boy on boy, coach on boy, trainer on boy, you name it, man. They get them young, you know, and that's why people think these guys going crazy, because, you know, they've been holding in, you know, a little trauma. You know, they've been holding for a while, man. This is Sirach 13:4. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet he threatened withal. The poor is wrong, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee as. So these owners, they see you as, you're the slave to make me billions of dollars, you know, hundreds of millions to billions of dollars a year. Why you think they won't let LeBron retire? But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Yeah, you end up like this guy on the left. What's his name? Antoine Walker. He ended up like that big guy on the left, you know, because he lost his money. I'm sure he's probably living off an NBA pension now, but that money ain't the same like them game checks, man, you know. Like one game check is more than the average American make a year, man. What the scripture say, a gift destroyed the heart, you know. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, Michael Rubin, all these other guys, man, they be your best friend, man, when you on top. He'll make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. He'll make thee bear, he'll tell you to buy a house or rent this apartment and it's lavish. area, knowing that you can't afford it, knowing your family is pulling on your wallet, every day. Because that's one thing I'm glad I ain't make it to the NFL or whatever. Because, family won't be calling like, hey, bro, remember your dad was in the hospital? I took you in for 2 weeks, man. I'm going to need some change, man. Jake could try to yaquab your pockets. Need about $200K, man. I need a new vehicle. I need a new house. I need a down payment. You want to hear all that shit so it's a blessing that you don't make it, Number one. Then you got to go through the rituals. Number two, your wicked ass family. And it says he'll make thee bear and will not be sorry for. Yeah, his devil will laugh, man, when he see you. It says he'll laugh when he see you down on your down, what they call it, down bad. He will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in the hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what one is that? Yeah, he say, what you want, man, I got you. He will shame thee by his meats, his goodies. He'll show you his goodies. Right? And be like, man, you see, you could have had this. But you chose not to listen until he have drawn thee dry thrice or twice. And at the last, he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. So, yeah, I see you do what he see you. Back in the hood, back to broke. What's this guy named Sebastian Telfair? Which his biggest issue, he got married and lost his money. This former NBA player, he got married and lost his money. Because I remember one podcast interview, he said, yeah, you young players out there don't get married type shit. Which is true, man. You ain't supposed to legally get married because sex is marriage, man. But the society's so far gone backwards. These average woman here got like fucking 50 husbands, man. By the age of 25, right? You gotta think. Let's say 3 niggas a year since 13. Yeah, it's about like goddamn 40, 50 niggas, man. Because average woman deal with minimum 3 niggas. That's minimum, man. Bitch a super slut. 3 niggas a fucking month, man. Because one thing about a woman, they love adultery, and that's what goes on in the NBA. Nothing but adultery, because the player is, seeking adultery, or the woman, she'll lie and say, yeah, she ain't got nobody the whole time. She got a whole husband at home or whole this. They said that the fucking, one of the ESPN anchors, which she look good, though. I ain't gonna hold you. She like she's married to an Amalekite. Or she is an Amalekite. Named Rachel Nichols. Let's see if I can pull up her picture, man. They said in a bubble she was getting tossed around. Let me try to pull it up, man. In a bubble, man. Rachel. Yeah, her right here, man. I said in the bubble. Her bubble was getting busted. NBA, she old now, right? That's her older version of her. She about 50-something. But she probably, the body probably still on point, even though the face is old. But when she was young, she looked like this, man, So, yeah, she definitely got that hook nose. So she more than likely got some small hat in her. She's just sitting in a bubble. She's getting tossed around, man. But she got her whole husband now, working for ESPN, man. Look, she got the rock on her finger and everything. But she not loyal to that marriage. She's an adulteress, you know. And so, like I said, some of them niggas actually seek adultery. Say in that position of power, you know, being an NBA player, you got private security, bodyguards, you're stronger, you're more athletic. You're stronger, you're more athletic than your bodyguards, but you need them. But, you know, I ain't gonna hold you. If I had that type of money, I had some type of, you know, carnal security as well, too, because these people are crazy out here. These niggas just show up at your doorstep because you fucked up their parlay, you know. Especially now, we in that parlay season, football season around the corner. You know, NBA around the corner. So these niggas, they spend so much money betting, man. So let me see. This is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 13:23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. Yeah, man. You know, when LeBron speak, the whole room silent. When, you know, because really, ultimate rich man is a so-called white man. You know, when but these niggas take after him, man, and look what he say if they extol it to the clouds. So yeah, people agree. Even JR, he's a rich man of this world. This video got millions of views, man. You know, throughout all social media. All right. Everybody agreeing, you know. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? Yeah, man, they say, who the fuck is this, man? You know, who he think he is, you know? That God ain't white, or, you know, who, you know, like a nigga told me, who made you the chosen one? You think you the chosen one? Because these demons know who we are. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Yeah, these people, they gaslight us, man, for, you know, they see, you know, hell, catching, you know, brothers catching hell, man, all right? But, you know, that's what this society promotes, is rich men staying rich, man, and poor staying poor, man. Because, you know, we are the poor, you know. Okay, you make $500K a year, you're poor. $1 million a year, you're poor. $1 million is nothing. I mean, really, $1 million is the new 100K, man. 100K from the 90s is like $1 million of the day, man. So $1 million is nothing, man. So I'm gonna end it there, man. You know, we gotta get the hell up out of here till next.